Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. So, got a new story for you all tonight. It is 4 minutes after 30, 8:30. So, um, this the story is called The Seamstress in Room 4. I hope that this story can make any sense to you all. So today it was a long day today. Tonight, we got rid of the keys to the bookstore. It is no longer a bookstore now. It is completely empty. So we got rid of the keys. We don't really need them anymore because we don't have a bookstore. So we are done. So I'm not sure if we actually are gonna have a new business, but maybe one day. But tomorrow I will be working on my book. I will be continuing my writing of my book. The only thing that is left for me to work on is my autobiography and the title. So the title is called Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. This is the new one. So it's the second one. And yes, I am still working on it. I took a break for a while because I had to go back to the bookstore and clean the whole thing out. I made quite a lot. So what my husband says, it might rain tonight. Yes, it probably will be raining. I saw the gray clouds coming in. So anyway, if you guys might go outside, you might want to, I don't know, wear something that is waterproof clothes or something. Maybe a raincoat, maybe use an umbrella because it's going to rain tonight. So it depends how much it's going to rain and how hard it's going to be. So, but yes, I am literally back to finishing my writing. So it's going to be my autobiography and the title. So that's all I have to do, especially with the picture. My picture is going to be on the back of the cover. So it can be on the inside, it can be also on the back of the cover. Anyway, I hope you guys are excited for it because Fearless and I will be working on that tomorrow. So before go on with the story, Fearless, Kaden, Kamari, and myself, we actually went to get some lunch in Council Bluffs. We went to IHOP for lunch. So we just, wanted to get something, and we all just hung out right after, the orthodontist thing. So, but anyway, we are definitely not opening another bookstore. So, anyway, let's get started on the story because I know you guys are excited to listen to the podcast. So we are on season 6, episode 207. And what my husband's saying now is I wanted pancakes with banana and some sirloin steak tips with mushrooms and onions. You could have joined us for lunch,
I
right?
had to work, so I couldn't leave.
Well, it depends what we're doing tomorrow for lunch. So, um, yeah, Chris has a day off tomorrow, so he has to go to Ace Rent to Own to pay off the bill of our washer and dryer. Um, the original washer is coming back to our house. They're actually bringing it back to us. They wanted to take the other one away, so I actually like the one we have right now. So um, it's coming actually Friday. They were fixing it for a while, so it was temporarily to have the washer. So our original washer's coming back this Friday. Um, anyway, I'm not sure what time. Maybe during his lunch break. So, well, anyway, let's just get started on the story because I know you guys want to listen to it. So, Fearless, welcome to Ghosting with Anya. And I know you're listening, even though you can't really hear me, but that's okay. Um, I'm here on live stream, so let's get started on the story. And if you ever want to join the conversation, you're always welcome when you're not reading your book. So, anyway, let's get started. So, it is the seamstress in room 4, episode 207. We are on season 6. So let's get started. Get yourselves something to drink, sit back, relax. Uh, Please click like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started on the story. Nina only took the boarding house room because the rent was cheap, the bus line was closed, and every other listing in her price range either smelled like mildew or desperation. The Holly House sat on a quiet side street lined with leafless trees and looked respectable enough from the outside. Lace curtains, polished brass, a porch swing no one seemed to use. Inside, however, it carried the sort of old house quiet that does not feel empty so much as listening. The landlady assigned Nina room 4 on the second floor and gave exactly one peculiar warning: don't leave ripped things out overnight unless you want opinions. Nina assumed that meant mice, dust, or the landlady herself. Room 4 was small but pleasant, with a narrow bed, washstand, sewing table left by some previous tenant, and wallpaper the color of weak tea. The first odd thing happened when Nina hung a coat with a torn cuff on the back of the chair and found it mended before breakfast. The stitching was exquisite, tiny, nearly invisible, and more patient than the quick repair Nina herself would have attempted. She asked every other tenant in the house whether one of them did mending as a hobby. Everyone denied it too quickly. One older resident, Mrs. Bowles, went pale and asked whether the repair was done in cream thread of gray. When Nina answered cream, the woman crossed herself and said, "Then she approves of you." That naturally made Nina ask more questions. The answer was a story. Everyone in the house knew in fragments. Decades earlier, room 4 had belonged to a seamstress named Clara Bell, who rented there while sewing bridal alterations, funeral garments, and church vestments for half the town. She was known for two things: impossible repairs and temper sharpened by other people's carelessness. She died in the room after an illness. She reportedly worked through too long. Since then, clothing left in room 4 sometimes came back altered, repaired, or repositioned according to standards no living tenant could consistently ignore. Nina laughed at the story because that was easier than admitting the cup repair had saved her both and tailoring fees. But the room pressed its argument. With persistence on him, she pinned lazily later, was properly turned and tested by morning. Miss Frown appeared sewn back on with stronger thread than the original ones. After spilling foundation on the collar of a cream blouse and swearing under her breath, Nina returned from brushing her teeth to find the stained ring lifted with damp bread and chalk paste, an old trick her grandmother used that Nina had not thought about in years. Beside the blouse sat a needle case, a strip of paper reading in slanted script, "Do not scrub silk like an enemy." It wasn't frightening exactly. It was worse than that. It was instructive. The first time Nina saw Clara nearly, it was because she made the mistake of cutting into a vintage dress without planning the seam. Allowance properly, she had bought the dress cheaply at a church sale and hoped to shorten it into something wearable. Halfway through, she realized the proportions were wrong, and the bow ties would hang badly. Frustrated, she tossed the dress over the sewing table and went downstairs for tea. When she returned, the room was colder, the curtain moved through the window was shut, and a woman stood in the reflection of the washstand mirror with one hand on the dress and a pincushion strapped to her wrist. Clara looked not ghostly, but intensely occupied, as though death had merely removed interruptions. She lifted the dress, held it against herself, and shook her head. Once, memory or convenience, she said, shorten the lining, not the line. Nina should have been terrified instead. She was offended by how right the dead woman sounded. Clara proceeded through gesture more than lecture to show her how to reshape the dress without ruining its original fall. The ghost never touched Nina directly. She touched fabric, pins, hems, and measurement tapes. She moved like someone whose whole understanding of care was expressed through practical transformation over the next weeks. Their uneasy collaboration became routine. Clara appeared most often when Nina was about to do something irreversible. In haste, throw away a coat because the lining had torn, hem trousers before washing them once, use the wrong interfacing on a borrowed jacket. Sometimes she left notes, sometimes only corrected examples. Once, after Nina spent an evening crying over a black dress she planned to wear to her father's memorial because it no longer fit properly, she found it let out by exactly the right half inch by morning. No note, just mercy disguised as skill. Other tenants noticed the changes in Nina's clothes and pretended not to draw conclusions. Mrs. Bowles eventually admitted that Clara seemed to help women with things they were ashamed to wear badly. Morning dresses, interview suits, wedding hems repaired after tears. Men in the house apparently got less attention, unless they left garments associated with funerals or departures. She believed clothing is what people wear to carry themselves through the unbearable. Mrs. Bowles said, and Nina couldn't improve on that phrasing. It explained why room 4 felt less haunted than insistently intimate. Clara did not want companionship. She wanted people not to go into difficult rooms, dressed in defeat when alteration might still serve dignity. What changed the dynamic was the veil. One tenant, a young woman named June, had hidden a box under Nina's bed during a room inspection because she was embarrassed by it. Inside was a wedding veil yellowed with age and smelling faintly of attic cedar. June confessed later that it had belonged to her mother, whose wedding never happened because the groom disappeared 2 days before the ceremony. June planned to wear part of the veil in a courthouse marriage of her own, but couldn't bear how fragile it had become. Nina agreed to see what she could do that night. Clara appeared at the sewing table once without preamble, pre, yeah, preamble, already holding the veil up to the lamplight. She did not look angry. She looked reverent. Not all fabric survives what it was meant for. She said some must be taught a second purpose. Together, or rather, with Nina following the dead and pretending that counted as together. They transformed the veil into a narrow lined collar piece in hair ribbon that June later wore at her wedding without a single tear in the old lace. By spring, Nina no longer told people she rented the cheap room in a boarding house. She said she lived in a place where garments had opinions. It was truer and less explainable. Clara's appearances became less frequent once Nina stopped being careless with cloth and started treating repair as an act of respect rather than economy. On the day Nina moved out for a better job in another city, she left behind a new pin cushion, a packet of cream thread, and a handwritten note that said only, "Thank you for not letting things leave unfinished." When she returned one, once, months later, to visit Mrs. Bowles, the sewing table in room 4 had been moved to the window, and the needle case she thought belonged to Clara sat open on top of it. Inside, tucked beneath the needles, was her own note folded smaller, as if accepted into the room's ongoing work. That is so amazing, you guys. I hope this kind of moved you, like with emotional thing. What did you guys think of it? What did you think of the story?
Was a good story.
It was beautiful. Hi,
Yes.
Mommy. Hi, sweet kitty. Mommy loves you. Yeah, my cat is here. She loves hearing her mommy's voice. So, anyway, this story is so beautiful. The sewing part was amazing. It takes a lot of skills to do the sewing. Speaking of sewing, I actually have the skill to do the sewings. My aunties on my father's side actually do have a lot of talent, of skills about sewing. See, my aunties, they can actually do the sewing, as in like making their own silk clothes, maybe, um, whatever they make, maybe quilts, I think. I actually inherited from them too. So, um, my great grandmother, she pretty much used to do the weaving. It's not just the sewing, it's also the weaving. See, I have the skill now too because actually I started doing my knitting, crocheting, do the sewing, the weaving as well. I've been doing it about 6 years now. So I learned how to crochet by watching a lot of videos. So if I ever make a video of myself crocheting something, I basically will let you guys watch it. I will probably record myself and then upload the video on YouTube. like literally on freaking YouTube. So anyway, it takes a lot of guts and it takes a lot of talent, skills, imagination, including all the creativity, and it takes a bunch of time to make the whole thing. I am trying to make the sweater or a tank top or whatever I'm working on. Also, I'm probably trying to learn how to make the uh, pants. Although I'm probably just gonna buy some anyway. Once I get paid again soon, this weekend, I will literally go buy something because Mama needs to. Well, because some of my clothes probably never fit me anymore because I no longer fit in the smaller size because I'm no longer small. This is why I'm trying to learn how to make my own clothes. So, anyway, now that the story is done, we are going straight to questions with answers. You guys are always welcome to join me with questions and answers. You're always welcome to the conversation if you guys wish to. So you're always welcome with that too. The participation, you guys can participate anytime. It is already a minute away from 9. So it's like a minute past 9. So anyway, let's get started on the questions here soon. We have about 10 questions and 10 answers. So anyway, you guys are always welcome as well. Fearless, if you're watching this video right now, even though you're reading right now, you are always welcome to join the conversation, especially with questions and answers. Like, literally, I mean, anyway, let's get started. I love this job because it is the best thing that's ever happened to me, especially podcasting. The reason why my eyes go different directions is because I'm tired. Okay, I've been running errands, I've been working on my book. I was working at the bookstore for almost 3 weeks, and you know, I'm tired. Also, I had to clean my house yesterday, so that is the reason why. I'm just extremely tired. So, anyway, let's get started on the questions. Bear with me, guys. Would you have kept sleeping in room 4 after the first repaired cuff? I definitely would, yes. If I went into a boarding house and end up sleeping in a haunted room for like actual freaking boarding house, I would not mind sleeping there as long as I have my husband with me all the time, and we would consider investigating the boarding house. There is a boarding house called the Salvatore Boarding House in West Virginia called Mystic Falls. And it might be a real place, and it's actually an actual town. It's in West Virginia. I have never been to Virginia, so there's an east side of Virginia, and I think there's also on the west side of Virginia. It's called Mystic Falls, so it's probably a real place. But anyway, it's the best thing. But there is actually a boarding house. So If you guys ever go to Virginia, find a place called Salvatore boarding house, boarding house, and it was somehow created many centuries ago. It was built, I don't know, sometime around, I don't know, centuries ago, like around 1800s maybe, somewhere around there. But it's been around for like at least about 200 years ago. So anyway, I pretty much would definitely sleep in room 4 after getting the repaired cuff like fixed up. I probably could fix whatever it was broken or torn apart. The way I see it, the way I fix my mistakes when I knit something, I would use a crochet hook to do the invisible seaming or whatever. I would fix it anytime. Depends. So that's how I fixed it. I use a crochet hook to fix it. I can make blankets, hats, scarves, blankets. I make hats. Yeah. So gloves, sweaters, tank tops, pants, tank tops. Literally. Well, I make a lot, especially slippers and some socks. But it's been a while, and I'm selling them, like literally selling the stuff. So anyway, let's just go back to this question. I mean, you guys are always welcome to participate on my show. So, Ghosting with Anya podcast is the best thing that's ever happened to me because years ago I would not know what I wanted to do when I was looking for the right job, like literally. So, when Fearless asked me about having a new job after leaving the bookstore, he asked me if I wanted to have my own show, and I said yes. I totally took the job doing podcasting from home and having my own show. So I basically actually did say yes. And I got hooked up. I got a lot of stories with the ghost stories because I love paranormal stuff. That's the reason why. So it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So if you love podcasting, then my YouTube channel is actually for you. But if you love reading books, then I recommend you guys buy my novel. It is called Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1. There's like 50 ghost stories. All you have to do is go on Amazon, click on search, type my first name, Anya Smith, Anya. My last name is Smith. um, Click search, and then my book will be right there in front of you. And it's also the price is about $13.99. On Kindle, it is like $8. You can do it as a sample or whatever. Buy full stories. Buy the whole book on Kindle if you wish to. So, but I recommend you guys buying the whole book, physical book, on Amazon. And Let me know what you guys think, and you guys can, like, I don't know, uh, do some ratings on it and see if it's for you or not. If you love my stories, then this channel's for you. And my book is definitely for you. So, anyway, I hope that this makes any sense to you all. If you have any questions and any opinions, please leave me comments down below. Alright, let's go to number 2. Do you think Clara stayed for the craft, the people, or the dignity clothing can provide? That's actually a good question, you guys. I think that she stayed because she wanted to finish fixing the clothes. So, what do you think? Do you think Clara stayed for the craft, the people, or the dignity clothing can provide?
The dignity clothing can provide.
Fixing all the clothes?
Yes.
That's exactly what my husband is thinking. So I think it's definitely, I think it's the dignity. It's for, she stayed because she wanted to fix what was torn, like the clothing, any dresses, wedding suits, business suits, or whatever clothing that people were wearing, especially in the past. So um, I think it's definitely the dignity. She took her job very seriously when she was alive. She died decades before, many, many years ago. So, anyway, let's go to number 3. Why do boarding houses and seamstress stories make strong haunting settings? Wow. I think probably because the seamstress was pretty much a very talented person in the past. I mean, perhaps she lost someone that she loved, and she loved doing all the fixing of the clothing. So she loved living in a boarding house, I guess. So it's kind of hard to explain, but the haunting can be very tragic way, and she loved what she loved doing what she wanted. I mean, she loved everything about her job and staying at the boarding house. I mean, if any of you guys had any experience about this, okay, to tell me the story about it. So if you have any experience about it, you're always welcome to participate on the show, and you're always welcome to leave me comments down below. But I think this haunting can be very a beautiful thing, but she took her job very seriously, guys. So this is why. It can be a lot stronger because of the emotions. So let me know what you guys think. You're always welcome to leave me comments down below. So, but yeah, anyway, let's go to number 4. We're almost done here, guys. What was more unsettling? The notes or seeing her in the mirror? I think seeing her in the mirror can be more unsettling, because if I saw Clara in the mirror, I would definitely be brave enough to talk to her. If I saw the notes that she was leaving me, I would actually be very brave enough to respond to her notes. So I think it's the reflection. Same question for you. What was more unsettling, the notes or seeing her in the mirror?
Then seeing her in the mirror.
Okay, nice. Well, people have spoken. Well, it's mostly my husband, so. Um, but yeah, I definitely would have seen her reflected. Sorry, I think this thing is acting up for me. Got it. My microphone went off again. I hate it when that happens. Well, anyway, we're nearly done with this. So, but anyway, yes, I would be brave enough to speak to Clara. She was the best seamstress of all time, especially back in the 1800s. I mean, we didn't have any sewing machines back in the day. Everyone kind of used to have sewn their stuff by hand. And I can do that actually by hand. That's because I have the sewing kit at home. Like, I just have to find my sewing kit so I can do the sewing anytime soon.
Yes.
If I can't find it, I'll have to buy more sewing kit at the store. So, but yes, I learned how to sew by watching YouTube videos. My mom, she can sew very well. She pretty much has her own sewing kit. If
Yes.
yeah, if she needs to fix something that was torn apart, she can totally do it too. So anyway, let's go to number 5. We're almost done here. All right, you guys, we have 5 questions left before I sign off. Was Clara right that Nina was cutting memory for convenience? Yes, I think she was right to help Nina fix the torn cuff of her dress. So, if Clara wasn't there to help her, Nina would have done something more tragic to the dress. I'm guessing Nina wanted to fix the dress because her grandfather or her dad had passed away. So that is the reason why she wanted to shorten her dress. Like where her legs would be. So I think that Clara did the right thing by helping her fixing everything of the dress. I mean, perhaps maybe I'll learn how to make a dress for myself. Or it depends. If I wish to make one, I probably will. Anytime. So, I definitely could have made it myself, but hey, I have to knit the whole piece and a bunch of different colors, then seam up both ends, and then I would cast off and then crochet a little bit more, and then I would make the straps, and then I would crochet the bottom part all the way down to see if it'll work. Maybe that will turn into a dress. I'll just have to, work on that. I've never made my own dress, like ever. So, but for me, I think Clara did the right thing by fixing Nina's dress. So, anyway, let's go to number 6. How is this haunting connected to care rather than fear. Well, the haunting is connected to a woman named Clara. Clara was the seamstress. Okay, um, she used to make her own clothes, right? She used to like mend bunch of other clothes for the customers she had, like bunch of clients, like wedding dresses, funeral dresses, or suits or whatever. Um, but yeah, she used to make a lot of clothes. I think she had either like a sewing machine, or she had, or maybe she did it by hand many decades ago. I don't know how many, but Clara was the best seamstress, okay? It's connected to her because she loved fixing things very well by hand. So she had a thread in one hand, she had a sewing needle in the other. Especially, well, she threaded her thread to the sewing needle, and then she took the sewing needle with the thread, put through the fabric, and started fixing it, like sewing it. Any technique will do. So it's connected to her because she loved taking care of her customers' clothes. So she wanted to make sure her customers had better clothes, like any kind of clothes. So depends. If anyone had a torn clothes, she can fix it very well. Although that she has passed on now, but she can do it as a spirit. So it depends. I'm trying to learn how to, you know, make my own clothes. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Clara cared because she loved taking care of her clients. So she cared a lot about them. She wanted to make sure they had the best clothes. Well, fixed ones. So it's the only way she did it. Alright, let's go to number 7. Would you trust a dead seamstress with your clothes? Yes, I would. I totally would. Yes. If I saw Clara fixing my clothes, I would trust her with my life. I would trust her to help me fix whatever it was torn. Like, say, my shoes that she can mend. Well, it depends. Um, or she can, like, fix my sweater or the blanket or whatever she could. So, mend anything. I would definitely trust her. Anyway, let's go to number 8. What do you make of the phrase, some must be taught a second purpose? Ooh, that's a good one. I think maybe the clothes were meant to have a purpose, like make people feel good about themselves, I guess. But here's a question for you. What do you make of the phrase, some must be taught a second purpose?
Sometimes you need more than one.
Yeah, something like that. So I think that's what Chris number 9. Why can mending feel more emotional than replacing? Well, that's a good question. Roast beef and potato cakes. Okay. Okay. I think that emotional is a part of our. Well, there's a purpose. The tragedies are attached to our emotions because that's how we feel. Here's a question for you, Chris. Why can mending feel more emotional than replacing?
Because it takes a lot more work than to just replace it.
I agree. Yes, it does. Actually, mending does take a lot of work because, well, it just needs a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity. You don't have to rush, you just do what you gotta do, and it'll, you know, be ready when it's ready. You just need time, figure it out. It doesn't even matter, but still, it works the way you want it to work. So, all right, guys, we have one question left. If a ghost kept repairing what you were ready to throw away, how would that change you? Well, it would be a lot more. I would be like something different, like maybe a different person or something. Okay. Here's a question for you, babe. If a ghost kept repairing what you were ready to throw away, how would that change you?
It'd be good that they fixed what I could have fixed.
Perhaps it takes a long time to repair it and you're ready to give up on that. It changes a lot. It could be anything. So I'm not very good at explaining that, but yeah, it can change a lot. Okay, guys, we are out of time. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Fearless, I hope that you watched the show for a little bit, and well, thanks for listening, and see you guys on next time on episode of Ghosting with Anya. There's a new story for you guys. It is called The Woman at Gate 6. New story. So get ready. We'll be doing at 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So thanks for watching and have a great night. See you on my next episode of Ghosting with Anya. 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So stay safe and have fun. Stay spooky. And may God bless you all. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on my next episode of Ghosting with Anya. Good night, everybody. Love you all, and just stay safe, you guys. Bye.